Hello, it's Mike Levin. It's Wednesday, June 28th, 2017. On my way into work, and I guess I'll go. I've always varied my route in order to get different flavors of, I guess, the neighborhoods and stores available and stuff. Between where I get off in the morning at Penn Station from the AA line down to the lower east side. So it's quite a bit of a haul. It's like a 20-minute walk in the morning. And so I have time to shoot these videos sometimes, or think through the day, or quite often just listen to my audibles, which I really have been enjoying. And so I can feel one of these sort of transitional states where I'm adjusting my field of SEO into what I want it to be for myself for the next, well, really 20 years. I'm thinking long term in terms of my working years up until retirement and Social Security kicks in, and I'll start living off of whatever I've built up in terms of a nest egg. But I am essentially starting from scratch, but I'm starting from scratch here in glorious New York City. And my field of search engine optimization is, about to take its next big leap forward. And people have asked in the comments to go into things more about the state of affairs and what's going on. And I guess the whole discussion is that there's a very clear divide between what we know and love and still continue to see continuing evidence of existing old school SEO. And with search engine optimization for the past, 15 or so years, the majority of Google's existence, the trick has been to publish a single URL that is not going to change for a very long period of time on topic or subject matter about which is regularly searched. We talk in terms very frequently of average monthly search volume, especially with keywords that don't have a very spiky seasonality. So a lot of keywords align to holiday seasons and events. And so when you look at the spark lines, the little miniature, usually embedded in Excel trend lines for the search volumes for these seasonal spiky things, you see tall lines up and really low lines the rest of the year. And so still, it doesn't invalidate the fact we talk about average monthly search volume for a lot of keywords. So that page you publish should be targeting its share of a decent amount of that traffic by seizing the first page of results in Google for the terms that most aptly describe that topic are searched on, and are also the terms that are searched on that topic. So this is the world of exact keyword matches, getting a short word combination, the target term, the keyword, into all these critical, locations throughout a published document. And then Google would step in and scan and download the contents of the page and dump it into its massive database, and then build an index on that database showing for which words that page should be served. And when you do this well, and you get one of those positions and it's a good page, they tend to be fortified over time by people linking to you and using the same terms related to your page, either in the anchor text link or around it. And so Google is able to sort of follow these clues and piece together with a pretty decent level of accuracy which pages should be served on what searches and in what position. And that is, what we know today as relevancy. The word PageRank had been used quite a bit. It's not the entire picture, because this system alone is just a very powerful core clue. Then other systems are sort of layered on top and combed in all sorts of ways, and we've seen lots of changes on the Google SERP page, the search engine results page, that does all sorts of manipulations as far as inserting AdWords, advertisements, and more directly answering your question. We're providing a featured snippet of information. Same thing as directly answering your question. Drawn from a variety of systems that have had a variety of names over the years. When it first hit, it was all about universal and local and news, and all these different sort of data types started flowing onto that SERP page. And mobile came onto the scene, and Google Quick Answers actually read back to you when you asked Google a question, and then the Google Pixel phone came featured with Google Assistant, so that use of voice search is being tremendously accelerated, and the use of quick answers and Google just telling you the best known thing is used more, along with Google Home, the Google Home device. And so the input-output devices, including wristwatches, and become our voice input for search. We get more and more conditioned to use our computers as our AI buddies, as they interacted with the Enterprise computer on the bridge of the Enterprise in Star Trek. And that is most certainly a minimal conservative read of the direction it is we're going. So I'm sort of preparing for that, talking to computers. I'm finally being forced to get into that smart home movement. It started with the audibles that I have purchased or have access to from the Audible Club, part of Amazon now. You can just ask the Alexa, the Amazon Echo Dot, to just read your Audible, and it'll pick up where it left off, using itself as a speaker. And if it's near a Bluetooth speaker that it's connected to before, you can just say connect to speaker, it'll connect to it and start going. I see the way a modern generation Roomba works with far more intelligence than the Roombas I had however many years ago. It must have been 10 years plus that I had the early Roombas, and now just the middle of the line model is just much smarter and makes better use of its battery. And the insect intelligence is a slightly smarter insect intelligence. I see the same thing going on in the pool cleaning robot, the pool version of the carpet and floor cleaning Roomba. I think even from the same company, iRobot. I forget if they branched off or whatever, but that was at my neighboring bungalow colony across the road from me in the Catskills. Sunrise Cottages, hanging out a lot with those people these days. Addie's being drawn over to the sort of, coming alive that's going on there with all these kids suddenly being there. It's really a joy to see. And so career, SEO, field. Well, yeah, all this is, of course, dancing around the fact that machines are learning. Machines are learning. The examples are extraordinary and abundant. And if anyone doubts that we are at insect intelligence, cast your doubt aside. That insect intelligence can control swarming devices, so robots and drones that swarm and work together to achieve goals. It's a done deal. By the time Addie is my age, some machines, certain machines, who knows, some version of sci-fi is going to have played out, and she will be, interacting with them much as one would interact with a human, either physically or intellectually, certainly talking with a robot that can hold its own with you and have almost godlike abilities in its ability to recall knowledge, better long-term memory than we have. So, we're creating machines in our own image, no doubt about it. Our big advances are coming from applying the very same techniques, learning techniques, to computers that humans learn by. And once that is just completely generalized and you say, here's how you grow intelligences, the rest of it is how you arrange your resources, your I/O device, your sensors, infinite varieties of seemingly alive, interesting, robot-like things can be grown from the same simple set of rules. You just want to be careful what you grow, because anything that's given any real power or ability, to connect generally to networks and to take control of machines, other machines that have automation APIs, which are always going to be there, you really got to make sure these things are empathetic to their, human, ancestors, creatures that they cohabitate the planet with. And, there's tons of different scenarios. Asimov has explored them. My very, very favorite recently has been the whole Ian M. Banks culture series. And, there's lots of positive, wonderful scenarios by which this plays out. But in those years from now to then, as an individual, you need to jockey and position yourself professionally. This, by the way, is what you hear going on. There's crane construction behind me. So you jockey and position yourself so that you can always provide professional services or your own services, apply it entrepreneurially to yourself to become some sort of consultant or freelancer. But it definitely should qualify you to work for people, to always have job security. And I believe that that is most likely in this day and age the ability to access data, to pull and store it, often locally, temporarily, and to answer questions regarding it, and to manage those issues of long-term data storage in case questions come up regarding data histories and trending, where you would be likely to have thrown out the large original data pulls, unless you had some like Amazon S3 bucket you could just throw things into almost forever. The mitigating the fact that we've got very, very powerful local processing machines with some decent local storage and such, and ways to control it reasonably without being a career programmer, in the form of Python programming language, Jupyter Notebook platform, web platform, internet platform, APIs as a way to tie things together. So Jupyter Notebook becomes a very valid, self-bootstrapping place, a place that you can turn to develop and practically use your coding and machine automation abilities, so that you can be more deeply engaged with what's going on now in the field. You can't be sitting still. It's not the time to flounder over what technologies to take up, where to invest your time, whether to focus on web development or, data analysis, or, how to turn yourself technical. If you find yourself at a similar crossroads as I find myself at, there is one wonderful safe haven, and that is Python. Becoming better and more proficient at Python as it applies to a variety of problem-solving tasks, from web development to data analysis. Just be quick and able to pick it up, to dust off your skills that might have been unused for a month or two while you couldn't focus on programming. And when you take up programming again, it's like hopping on a bicycle. It comes easy to you. You do seemingly death-defying, stunts. I mean, when you think about what happens on a bicycle, it's pretty amazing that a two-wheel vehicle is a two-wheel non-powered vehicle is a perfectly viable transportation device. It reminds you how much role the human can bring to the vehicle itself. And Python is a lot like a bicycle. It's